Hello to all of you, my dear students in the 8th grade. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. Again, it's me, your English teacher, Manal Jafari at Al Farouk Academy. The title of our lesson today is Past Continuous. So, in this lesson, we are going to recognize the form of past continuous. We are going to understand the uses of past continuous, and we are going to use past continuous with when and why. So are you ready to start our lesson today? Okay, let's start. The first step in my lesson, I am going to show you the uses of past continuous. So we use past continuous for an action that continued for some time in the past. What do you mean by this? Let's start with this picture. Look at the girl. Now, what is she doing? Now, it is 6 o'clock and she is at home. Okay, she is watching TV. But at 4 o'clock, what was she doing? She was out and she was playing tennis. Again, now she is watching TV, but at 4 o'clock, she was playing tennis. Okay, so to form a sentence about the second part of this picture, we can say Sarah was playing tennis at 4 o'clock. The subject is Sarah. Here we have the past form of verb to be, which is excellent, was. Was if the subject is singular, where if the subject is plural. Playing is a verb plus ing. Here we have tennis, okay, which is the object of your sentence. At 4 o'clock, it is the time, okay, when Sarah was out and she was playing tennis. Okay, so if you want to know what did Sarah do from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, what can we say? Let's start. At 3 o'clock, she began playing. Playing what again? Tennis. At 3 o'clock, she began playing. From 3:30 to 4 o'clock, what was she doing again? She was playing tennis. Okay? And the last point, at 4:30, okay, she stopped playing. Okay? So, from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, Sarah was playing. Here, yeah, miss, what do you mean by action that continued for some time in the past? Okay, again, what do you mean by action? It is a verb, okay, that continued for some time in the past. Okay, so Sarah was playing from 3:30 to 4 o'clock when in the past, okay, because it is now 6 o'clock. So what happened before 6 o'clock was in the past, okay? The second use. Here we don't have one action or one verb. Here we have two actions in the past. Again, how many actions? We have two actions in the past. The long action was interrupted by the short action. What do you mean by long action? What do you mean by short action? And what do you mean by interrupted? Let's see. Here we have a picture. We have a class, okay? The students were talking, okay? And their teacher came to the class. Again, the students were talking, okay? Their teacher came to the class, okay? So, how can we form a sentence about this picture? We can say, when the teacher came, the students were talking. So here we have a long action, okay, أحداث مطولة that was interrupted, قطعت by a short action بحدث قصير. Okay, so the short action was when the teacher came. So what do you mean by short action? It is simple past or verb to. The long action was were talking. So what do you mean by long action? It means was were plus ing. Okay, so the long action in this picture was the students were talking. Okay, when the teacher came, they fell silent. Okay, so we can say the students were talking when the teacher came. Okay, so when can be used at the beginning of your sentence or in the middle of your sentence. Okay, so here we have a long action. The students were talking. This is the long action. This is why we use past continuous. What interrupted this long action? Look, it was interrupted by the teacher came. Okay, so when the teacher came here we have the short action verb to. Okay, the students were talking. Okay، إذا في عندنا فعلين أحداث مطولة كانت بالماضي المستمر قطعت بحدث قصير وهو الماضي البسيط. Okay. More examples. Look at this picture. Here we have two actions in this picture. A man was eating and the phone rang. So how can we say the sentence? We can say while the man was eating, okay, the phone rang. So if I ask you, what interrupted the man? Why did he stop eating? You can say because the phone rang. Who can give me the long action? The long action, the man was eating. What about the short action? The short action, the phone rang. Okay, so with the short action we use rang, verb to. With the long action we use was eating, past continuous. Another example. When Sam arrived, we were having a drink. Okay, so we can say we were having a drink when Sam arrived. Okay, you can start your sentence with when or use it in the middle of your sentence. Okay, here we have a long action which is we were having dinner. Again, the long action is we were having a drink. The short action when Sam arrived. So what interrupted their drink when he arrived? Okay. The third sentence we have only one action. Okay, we don't have two verbs, only one verb, which is excellent, play. Okay, so we have one action that continued for some time in the past. أحداث مطولة لفترة معينة في الماضي. Okay, so who can form a sentence about the third picture? Excellent, we have to, so we use they. They were excellent. They were playing tennis when at 10:30 yesterday. They were playing tennis at 10:30 yesterday. Okay? So, the rule says that when is used with the short action, which is simple past, and while is used with the long action, which is past continuous. Okay? So, when you have two clauses, okay, the first is long and the other is short. With the long action, use past continuous, was, were, plus ing. With the short action, we use verb to, which is simple past. So, the rule says that with when you need to use verb to or simple past, we use simple past with when. When can be used in the middle of your sentence or at the beginning of your sentence, okay? Here we can say, I was watching TV when Jim knocked the door, or when Jim knocked the door, I was watching TV. But pay attention that when is used with simple past. What about while? While is used with excellent. past continuous. with while we have the long action. while بتاخد الحدث المطول اللي هو الماضي المستمر. So while plus subject plus was were plus ing. And the second part of your sentence, the second clause will be simple past. For example, when we say while I was watching TV. While again we use past continuous with while. Okay? Jim knocked the door. إذا القاعدة بتحكي لنا مع وين دائما نستخدم أحداث قصيرة والشق الثاني بيكون مطول. الوايل عكسها ناخذ معها الحدث المطول اللي هو was were مع ing والشق الثاني بيكون اللي هو الحدث القصير اللي هو simple past. Okay? Here we have the form of past continuous in the affirmative, negative, and interrogative form. As I told you before, if the subject is singular or I, you are going to use was plus ing. For example, I was working. If the subject is plural, you are going to use were plus ing. In the negative form, you only need to add not to was or were. I was working, I wasn't working. Okay? In the question or the interrogative form, you are going to invert the subject and verb to be. What do you mean by invert? تبديل. For example, he was working yesterday at 2 o'clock. For example, yesterday, we can say, was he working yesterday? Okay, so what did we do? We only invert the subject and verb to be. Another example, we were working yesterday. Who can form a sentence or a question from this sentence? We can say, were we, okay, working yesterday? So to form a question, you only need to invert the subject and verb to be. Put verb to be, which is was or were, before the subject, okay? I hope you did understand my lesson today. Now I have a practice. I want you to help me in order to do this practice. The first one, correct the verbs between brackets. While she read, the phone rang. How many actions do we have in this sentence? We have 2 actions. Actions mean أفعال, okay? We have 2 verbs. While she read, the phone rang. So here we have with while, as I told you, we have the long action. So you are going to use past continuous. So excellent. While she was reading, okay, what interrupted her reading? The phone, excellent. Verb to or the simple past. The second part of your sentence will be the short action, which is simple past. So the phone rang. Number 2, they play football when he fell down. Okay, so here we have when, not why. With when, as I told you, we use short action. So here we have the long action. The long action is they were playing football when he fell down. The third sentence, what you do at 8 o'clock yesterday. Here we have action that continued for some time in the past. Okay, 8 o'clock yesterday. So you are going to use past simple or past continuous. If you have a time adverbial of past action with a specific time, you are going to use past continuous. So, what were you doing yesterday or at 8 o'clock yesterday? Suppose we have what you do yesterday without at 8 o'clock. So the answer will be, what did you do yesterday? Okay, when we have action that continued for some time in the past, we use past continuous. Okay? Exercise 2. Read the following sentence, then underline the short action. You are going to underline the simple past or short action and circle the long action. So the sentence is, while he was watching TV, the phone or the telephone rang. Where is the short action? Excellent. It is the second part of your sentence, which is the phone rang. Okay, where is the long action? It is was, were, plus ing. So it is the first part of this sentence, which is he was watching TV. Okay, so again, the long action is past continuous. The short action that interrupted it is the simple past. Okay. I will stop here. I hope you did understand the lesson. Please revise the lesson well, listen to my steps well, and if you have any questions, send me a message. Thank you very much, my dear students in the 8th grade.